Welcome back to Hangin' at the Hangar Bar, the show where we bring a little Disney magic to your day. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most enchanting and delicious experiences you can have at Walt Disney World, character dining. From breakfast with Mickey and friends to dining in a grand ballroom with princesses, these meals offer more than just great food. They create unforgettable memories. We'll be sharing our favorite spots and what to expect from these one-of-a-kind dining experiences. So grab a Mickey waffle, settle in, and let's talk all things character dining at Walt Disney World.
Hey, welcome to Hangin' at the Hangar Bar. I'm Scott.
And I'm Candace. We're here to chat all things Disney as child-free Disney adults. Stories, snacks, and a little magic along the way.
Grab a drink and get comfy and come hang out with us.
Hey, Scott.
Hello.
How are you?
I am fantastic.
Today, we are going to be talking, as I mentioned in our intro, about character dining.
Okay.
And I think it's important for our listeners, which are predominantly Disney adults,
I would agree with that statement.
to understand that character dining, in my opinion, is not only for kids.
Oh, 100%. It's some of my favorite experiences.
Right. But I think there are a couple of things, and we'll talk through this as we move through this episode, of things to be aware of when you're experiencing character dining. Would you agree?
Yes, I would.
Okay. So let's get started. We're going to talk through this a little bit, and we'll go location by location and discuss if we've had that adventure, what we thought about it, if we would do it again, those kinds of things.
Cool.
Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first of all, for those that may not be aware, because we may have new listeners that are just planning their first trips or whatever the case may be, about what character dining actually is. And basically what character dining is it offers guests the opportunity to enjoy a meal, lots of times all you care to enjoy, while meeting some of your favorite Disney characters.
Yes.
It's important to note that some character dining locations have specified meals or hours to meet the characters, and some of them will also, if you're on the Disney dining plan, cost you more than one table service credit to have that experience.
Right. Are you going to, as we go through them, are you going to talk about how it affects the dining plan
Yes,
for each
I
one?
am.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
As well as if you're not on the dining plan, what costs are
Okay.
average costs.
Excellent. As of
As
March
of
24th at 10 a.m. when this episode is releasing.
correct.
Right. They may raise prices tomorrow. We just don't know. So we're going to go with what we know right now.
Right now. As of the time of this recording,
Yep.
this is accurate.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, and also I think it's important to note that sometimes the food at these experiences is not always the greatest
Sure.
as compared to some other locations at Disney World, but I think it's important to note that what you're paying for is the experience with the characters.
100%.
So don't go into it thinking it's going to be some 5-star Michelin experience.
Right. Some of the food is better than other places, just like any restaurant experience.
Correct.
But all of the food probably does not live up to your Le Cellier's, your
California Grill.
California Grills, your Via Napolis. All of those places are going to have elevated food, but you're not paying for the experience in those places as much as you are with character dining.
100%. Yep. Okay, so are you ready to jump in?
Let's jump in.
Okay. So our first location is going to be 1900 Park Faire, which is located in the Grand Floridian. We have never experienced this option, and I'm not sure that I really want to.
Okay. Tell me more about it. I know the restaurant name, but I don't know anything else about it.
Okay, so it's open for breakfast and dinner.
Okay, not lunch.
No.
Weird.
Just breakfast and dinner.
Okay.
You meet friends like Tiana, Maribel, and Prince Ali.
Okay, I've seen videos of
Yes,
that
we
one.
have. Yes, and it reopened recently after the pandemic. They
Okay.
kind of reimagined everything and got new characters in.
It used to be a Mary Poppins
No, you're thinking Grand Floridian Cafe.
Okay. But 1900 Park Faire is... I don't know that I've seen anybody eat dinner there. I've only seen people...
We've seen both.
Okay.
Yeah. It was...
Typical,
Yeah.
all you care to enjoy, or is it a buffet?
No, it's not a buffet.
Okay.
It's a...
I'll let you get into that. I'm jumping ahead. My
Okay.
apologies.
But the thing that I noticed when I was doing research, since we haven't been there, is how changeable the characters are. Like those characters that I just mentioned, like Tiana and Maribel and Prince Ali, are possible friends that you'll get to meet.
Okay.
But it's very changeable.
Interesting.
So I think you would want to go there and set the expectation with your party definitely to have some open minds about it. Like, don't fall apart if you don't get to meet Tiana.
Right.
As far as dining plan situation, this is going to cost 1 table service credit per person.
Okay.
For breakfast, for an adult, you are looking at about $54 to $58
For breakfast.
for breakfast.
Okay.
For children, you are looking between $34 and $37 per
And
child.
that comes with all the food, a beverage, not a cocktail.
Correct.
A beverage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for dinner, it runs between $66 and $69 for an adult.
Okay.
And $41 to $44 for a child.
Okay.
Which, that seems a little pricey for me, but I guess you are in the Grand Floridian.
What kind of food do they serve at dinner time?
It's basic American fare. Like nothing.
Like pot roasty kind of things?
Yeah.
So almost, we'll get there eventually, but almost garden grill type food?
Ish.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing really kitschy, nothing really like stand out, like come here for this menu.
Right.
It's very much a come here to meet these characters.
Right. You're going there to meet Tiana.
Yes.
Or Jasmine or whatever.
Whatever.
Okay.
So, but with all of those things and like having looked at the menu and not really like knowing I can get that anyplace else on Disney property, I really don't have any desire to ever go there.
Yeah, I think there's not very many places where you can meet Tiana.
No, that is true. I think that might be the only one.
So if that's your princess, you do that.
Well, and that's also the place that they do that little wish ceremony where you write your wish on a card.
Right.
And then they do the ceremony with the lighting and things like that in the restaurant so you can make your wish or whatever it is.
Okay.
But still,
Yeah.
I think it would be different if we had kids.
Yeah, I would agree. And what did you say price-wise on that one? I'm just on the Disney app.
Uh-huh.
I was going to look up the menu, but then I got distracted by their pricing.
54 to 58 for an adult for breakfast and 66 to 69 for an adult for dinner.
Okay, I think prices have gone up.
Really?
On the Disney World app, breakfast says it's over $60 per adult. And dinner says over $60 per adult.
Shoo. Okay.
And that breakfast is Mickey waffles and eggs and bacon and sausage and definitely not worth over $60.
Right. So again, listeners, we ask for a little leniency on the...
I'm not going to fact check everyone. I just got distracted when I pulled up the pricing and I'm like, breakfast for $60?
Right. But again, we're asking for leniency from our listeners because this was the most current information we could find at the time.
Right.
So just know that none of this is inexpensive.
Right. Okay. I may edit all of this out, listeners. Otherwise, you get to hear how the coffee is made. The sausage is made.
I prefer coffee, thank you.
But like I dig into the menu and it says $58 per adult. So the main page says over 60. Probably it's including taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm done fact checking. Candace is the map. Ooh. Bread pudding with vanilla creme anglaise on the breakfast menu.
But we could go to Epcot and get the pretzel bread pudding with the caramel sauce and the vanilla creme anglaise for much cheaper and much better.
Yeah. So this does not look like it's
standard.
It's a buffet. Yeah, it's a buffet.
Ugh. So that's another ick.
Yeah. And dinner is a buffet as well with like peel and eat shrimp, gumbo, salmon. It has a carving station with prime rib. But again, for basically $70 per adult, probably not worth that.
No.
Unless you really want to meet those characters again.
Yeah, and keeping in mind that that is the point of character dining is
Right.
meeting the characters.
Yep. Like, do you want me to, again, I'm looking at the app. Do you want me to say I know you mentioned the characters, but it says Disney friends may include Aladdin, Cinderella, Mirabelle, and Princess Tiana.
Yeah.
And they're subject to change.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, again,
I mean, if that's your jam and those are your people that you want to meet,
if we are staying at the Grand Floridian and we have extra time, I might say, let's try it.
But for buffet food?
Right.
I don't know that I want to pay that much for buffet food.
Right. Not even in a theme park buffet food.
Right. Like
yeah,
just
I don't.
buffet food.
Yeah, I don't know.
Listeners, if you have been to 1900 Park Faire recently and you enjoyed it or didn't, hop on our socials and let us know.
Yes.
Because I think this could be a topic of discussion.
Yes, for sure. And I will stop interrupting so much, otherwise this is going to be a 4-hour episode.
Mm-hmm. All right. So moving on along, we are going to Akershus Royal Banquet Hall, which is located in the Norway Pavilion over in Epcot.
Okay.
And we are not going to get saucy about my opinions of what they have done to that poor pavilion, but we all know, if anybody's been listening for any length of time to the podcast, you all know how I feel exactly about it.
Yes.
All right, so your meet and greet opportunities here are going to be with the Disney princesses. This is also not something that we have taken part in before, and there's several reasons for that, but they are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They are best known for Norwegian-style food and flavors. Again, it's going to cost 1 table service credit per person. Breakfast runs between $35 and $60, which is quite a range for adults for breakfast. $34 for children, and then $60+ for adults and $41+ for children for lunch and dinner.
Okay.
That seems steep for me.
It is. It's really, really kind of steep for what looks to be Norwegian comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
But again, what a great opportunity to try flavors that maybe you haven't tried before.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's expensive. You go there if you want to meet the princesses.
Right.
You're not necessarily going there for the food.
Right.
But if you are going there to meet the princesses, what a great way to introduce your kids to potential flavors that they're not used to.
Mm-hmm.
With a whole bunch of things that I can't pronounce. Gulrotter og grüne Bohner. Carrots with green beans.
All right.
Ooh. Killing, chicken with apple and fennel preserves.
That would be good.
I'm not a big fan of fennel, but
in the right thing, in the right elements, it's okay.
peel and eat shrimp with zesty remoulade. That sounds very Norwegian.
Well, it's seafood. I also know they have herring. Lots of herring dishes.
Yeah. They're not calling those out on the menu necessarily.
Surprise. So, is that something that you would ever want to try?
Just for the flavors alone, I would say yes. Again, price-wise, like the older I get, the more I'm realizing that character dining is overpriced. But again, like I go back to the business person that's yelling at me is if they priced it where it probably should be priced, you would never be able to get a reservation.
No.
Because everybody would want to go there to meet the princesses and try the different food. And you would have to have a literal PhD in Disney dining reservations to be able to get sort of like what happens with Space 220.
Yeah.
Like that thing books up. It feels like a year and a half in advance. I know that's exaggerating, but
on day 60, it's done.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a 2-day trip, you are not getting Space 220 reservations to sit at a table.
Right. Which, from what you've said and looking at the menu in that experience, I don't know that I want to anyway. Not that that's character dining. We're
Right.
getting off track. I'm getting
Sorry.
distracted.
Again, this is why you shouldn't have invited me to be a part of this. I distract you.
It's all right.
It's what I do. In addition to drinking and knowing things, I distract Candace.
Okay. Add that to the T-shirt. All right. Are we ready to move on?
Yes.
All right. Our third location is Artist Point, which is located over in Wilderness Lodge.
Okay.
This location is open for dinner only and features meet and greets with Snow White, Grumpy, Dopey, and the Evil Queen.
Okay.
It will cost 1 table service credit per person from the dining plan. And money-wise, like if you're using actual money, $39 per child, which, again, children are considered ages 3 through 9.
Right.
In Disney speak, that's your age range. And then anything above age 9 is $65
Goodness.
per person for that.
Goodness. And just looking at the menu.
What are some of the things on the menu?
So a smoky mushroom bisque, Hunter's Harvest, which is turkey and chicken, cranberry preserve, crispy sauerkraut, wicked shrimp cocktail, a cottage beef stroganoff, royal prime rib roast, a stroll through nature, which is asparagus leeks, tomatoes, gnocchi, herb cream and arugula pesto, magic mirror slow braised pork shank, Brothers Grimm herb chicken, Bashful's fish of the day, Sorcerer's Spell of Trickin' chicken, which is a cauliflower puree, roasted vegetables, chimichurri vegetable jus, which is plant-based. And then there's a few desserts. The poison apple is the one they're probably most famous for, which is the dark chocolate apple mousse with a sour center.
Mm-hmm.
And kids' entrees are just... So keep in mind what Candace said about price-wise for this one. Kids' entrees, chicken strips, grilled chicken, grilled fish of the day, prime rib roast.
For $34 a plate.
Yep. And I do believe that's I think you choose one of, like, everything's all you care to enjoy, but you choose an entree, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, like, do we know? The only reason I would say I would want to do this one is I think it's one of the few, if not only, place to meet the Evil Queen, right?
Yeah, that would be my only purpose for going there.
Yeah, because you get to meet it's not like at Disneyland where she's out walking around.
Right. Right.
And you don't really get to meet the dwarves very often either.
No, you don't.
But you only get to meet Dopey and Grumpy.
Correct. Which I think that's interesting that those are the two that they chose.
Right. They're the funniest in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, I don't know that it's worth the almost $70 for that you would have to pay.
Again, I think it would be like a one and done situation where you could mark it off your list.
Yeah.
And if you want to meet the Evil Queen, that would be the only.
Yeah, maybe when we're there next, we go do that just so we can get a picture with the Evil Queen for our Christmas card.
Because nothing screams Christmas like someone that kills somebody with fruit.
Right, exactly. And tell her that's what we're doing. Like, we want you to pose for our Christmas card photo with us and just see what she says.
Uh-huh.
Do they have Christmas in that universe? Or would she not know what that was? Would she be like, what's this Christmas?
I don't know. I think she would, because it's a German fairy tale.
Yeah.
Maybe. But with as evil as she is, she probably doesn't celebrate it anyway. She probably doesn't celebrate anything.
Right.
Except her.
If I were her, I'd be like, only if we frown.
Yeah.
You can't smile in your Christmas card.
How dare you? Okay. Are we moving on?
Yep.
All right. So we are next headed to Chef Mickey's, which is located on the 4th level of the Contemporary Resort.
I'm going to tell you right now, not worth it.
I would agree, and I've done it.
So tell everybody about it now that we've very much said what our...
Okay, so with this adventure, it's open for breakfast and dinner only.
Okay.
It will cost 1 table service credit per person on the dining plan. For breakfast/brunch, it is $41 per adult or $25 per child. This is a buffet situation.
And that's the most reasonably priced one we've been through so far.
For dinner, it bumps to $69 per adult and $49 for children, which is a bit expensive.
It is, but
for a buffet.
But it's still very similar price to everything else character dining for dinner.
Yes, agree. And at this one, the big draw to this one is that you get to meet the Fab Five. So Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Goofy, and Donald.
Right.
And they're all in their chef outfits, and they're so cute.
They're super adorable, but there's so many other places to meet all of them.
Yes.
That you don't have to pay for. Your investment is time.
Right.
To meet them other places.
Yes.
So is it worth...
Keeping in mind that they do come in a lot of cute outfits if you do go down the character dining rabbit hole.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. And honestly, folks, I tell you, I would not do that one just simply because every time we've been in the Contemporary and been near there, it's just loud.
So loud. So loud.
And it's a buffet situation where you get up, you could potentially miss your chance to see a character if you're up at the buffet. And if it's super busy and you have to spend a long time at the buffet, I would get so nervous that I'm paying that much money to meet a character that I don't know I'm not going to get to meet because it's huge.
Right.
Not like some of the places that we're talking about where you could potentially see characters 2 or 3 times.
Right. It's very much a one and done. Like if they pass by and you're not there, sorry, we have 150 other tables.
Yeah,
I agree.
Not my speed.
And again, it's buffet food, and I was only there for breakfast when I did it. And it was very much classic Disney breakfast food with eggs and sausage and Mickey waffles and those kinds of things. I think they've elevated it maybe a little, and that's been a long time since I've been there, but I would not spend the time or the money to do that again.
Yep. Agreed. Next.
Okay, next we are going to Cinderella's Royal Table, which is the restaurant inside Cinderella Castle in Magic Kingdom Park.
Okay.
This location is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It will take 2 table service credits per person. And if you include gratuity, if you're paying cash, money, whatever, it's going to be well over $100 per person, child or adult. And when you make your reservation for this location, they automatically charge your card at the time of the reservation.
Really?
Yep.
Is it refundable if you cancel a certain amount before?
It is.
Okay.
But still, it's important that people know that.
Right. Agreed. And honestly, that's another one of those, not only are you paying for the princesses that you meet, you're paying for being in Magic Kingdom eating in the castle.
Yes.
That's why that one's so spendy. And that's honestly why I would probably say I wouldn't mind trying to eat there once. But I can't imagine me ever wanting to do that more than once.
I've done breakfast there, and it was where I actually discovered the Disney breakfast potatoes.
Okay.
That I adore.
Yes.
But another thing that's really cool about that location is, like, if you can make a reservation early enough in the morning so that you can get there before the park officially opens, you can walk basically down an empty Main Street USA through the castle to get there, which is really cool. And if you time your dinner reservation, you can watch fireworks from there if you get a table seat in the right location in the restaurant.
Right. I can't imagine the fireworks would be very cool to watch from inside, though.
No, because you miss, like, all the high stuff.
Because that's all shot from a mile or 2 behind the castle anyway.
Yeah.
So you'd get all the fireworks that are shot from near the castle.
Right.
But yeah, again, still a unique experience, sort of like people that will try and time their Big Thunder Mountain Railroad or their Tiana's Bayou to be on that during the fireworks because it's such an interesting and unique experience. But yeah, that's one where I kind of don't blame Disney for the price they charge for that one. Ridiculously expensive for what you get. But again, if they were to charge the $50 per person that's maybe worth, they would have to accept reservations 2 or 3 years in advance.
Right. And it would have to be more than just Well, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but they would have to like invent meals
Right.
to get everybody in that wanted to go.
Right. You'd have a time limit.
Yeah.
Like, you have 45 minutes to get the hell in and get the hell out.
Right.
Which, that's why they price it the way it does, so the poors can't afford to go.
Correct. All right, then.
Yes, I'm showing my privilege, everyone.
I think a little bit. All right. So if I didn't mention, the meet and greet opportunity is some of the princesses, including Cinderella herself.
Right.
So that's kind of a big deal.
Yep. Because, again, I don't know very many places to meet Cinderella.
No.
So, yeah.
It's because she's busy entertaining everybody at her restaurant.
Right.
Rude.
Rude.
Okay. So moving on. And what's coming up next is one of probably our favorite place.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Garden Grill, which is located in the Land Pavilion in World Nature over in Epcot.
Yes.
This is also open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The lunch and dinner menus are the same. It will cost 1 table service credit per person, or if you are paying actual money, it is $49 for adults and $33 for children for breakfast. And lunch and dinner is $62 per adult and $42 per child for lunch and dinner.
Yep.
And you get to meet Mickey, Pluto, Chip, and Dale in some of the most adorable farmer outfits. Well, I guess Mickey is the only one in an outfit. The rest of them are naked.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But Mickey is in his farmer getup, and it's the most adorable version of Mickey there is.
Yes, I would agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This might be a hot take with this because we've done both lunch and breakfast at this location. I would rather schedule a lunch here than go back for breakfast.
I would agree.
Because breakfast is very much just run-of-the-mill Disney breakfast. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if I'm going to pay a higher price than what I could just get at my resort,
Yep.
I'm going to do the different food.
And my perception on that has changed in the last since COVID.
Okay.
They do have like a special grilled steak for breakfast in the morning as well. But their breakfast pastry used to be the most delicious, like, cast iron pan cinnamon roll that you could find anywhere. Honest to God, it was the best cinnamon roll I've ever tasted in my life.
So sad they took it away.
And they took it away in favor of just some breakfast pastry thing.
Loaf.
Yeah. Not anything to write home about. They actually lessened the experience. The food that you get in lunch and dinner is definitely home cooking. It feels like they're pulling produce from the land. It's all the goodness that comes with that. And yeah, just so good.
Like that salad that they start the meal off with is just so bright and fresh and delicious. And I think there's a vinaigrette on it, actually, and it's perfect.
Yeah, it does not say what the dressing is on the menu, but yes.
But if I
think
remember,
you're right.
it was a vinaigrette. It wasn't like a cream-based dressing.
And then it comes with like carrots and celery with Farmhouse Ranch.
Yes.
And it has steak and turkey for the meats, mashed potatoes, green beans, seasonal vegetables, mac and cheese.
With goldfish crackers.
Yep. And then dessert is like
the
pie.
berry cheesecake.
Yeah.
Or not cheesecake, pound cake.
Yeah.
With berries.
They may have changed that because now it says Farmer's Seasonal Pie and Farmer Mickey's Cupcake.
Oh, okay.
Kind of want to know what a Farmer Mickey cupcake looks like.
Right. Well, we've got a trip coming up. We can find out.
Even if we don't want to eat there, just going, can I see one of the cupcakes?
I just want to look at it.
I just want to see it.
Show it to me.
Yeah, that's a place that I will continue to go back to.
Yes.
We've been there. I think I've eaten at the Garden Grill
3 times.
3 times, once for each of the meals, a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. No, I've done breakfast there twice.
You've done breakfast there twice, lunch there once.
We haven't done dinner?
We have not.
Okay. Yeah, it's a place I'd go back to.
Right, and this is one of those situations where the restaurant itself is small enough that you're going to see the characters multiple times, which is really nice.
Yep.
Plus, it's family style, served at your table, so you don't have to get up and run around. Plus, another thing to keep in mind, and I'm thinking about Lariah when I'm saying this, the restaurant does spin very slowly, so you get an overview of some of the parts of the Living with the Land attraction.
Yep.
But it's not like you're on a merry-go-round.
Right. Right. If you're not paying, well, you're moving just because the wall changes.
Right, you look up
but
and you're somewhere different.
Right, you can't feel it moving.
Right.
I still kind of want to know the science behind how the kitchen works. Because the kitchen is in the middle.
Right.
So do they, like, have to wait until a door comes back to being a door?
I've never paid that close of attention. I don't know.
Or is, like, the kitchen is set back, there's doors that come out, and then there's a gap that you come out and those doors are stationed. I don't know. It's
I
just,
don't know.
I'll have to pay attention next time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one of our favorites, a place we would go back to, one I would highly recommend, and I think probably one of the few that I would say is worth the investment.
Yes, I agree.
I got my paint me like one of your French squirrel pictures there.
Yes, you did.
I'll have to find that and post it on social media again.
Yes. All right, moving on. We are going now to Cape May Cafe, which is over at the Beach Club Resort. We walked by this several times during our trip last February.
That's character dining?
It is.
Interesting.
Yes. It's open for breakfast and dinner. However, it is important to note that characters are only there during breakfast.
Okay.
The characters are Minnie and friends, so Minnie, Daisy.
Okay.
Yeah. It is 1 table service credit per person. Breakfast is $49 per adult and $33 per child. And dinner is $49 per adult and $29 per child, which I think is interesting. That it's
character premium.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
Excellent point. So this is a buffet restaurant, and again, the breakfast is going to be very standard. It's going to be your Mickey waffles, your eggs, your sausage, pancakes probably. And then for dinner, it's more of a surf and turf dinner buffet.
Okay.
But again, no characters.
Right. Yeah, thinking about the character dining part of it, I'm just looking at the breakfast menu. The first thing listed is salted caramel beach buns in quotes that says it's served with vanilla cream.
Okay.
So like a salted caramel bread pudding kind of situation probably.
Yeah.
They also have cheddar biscuits and gravy.
You'd hate that.
I would probably bathe in that section of the buffet.
You'd protest.
I would. But other than that, it's scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, waffles, and French toast, oatmeal, and grits. Yeah, very much traditional Disney breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is the least expensive of the character meals that we've had. Is that because of popularity of characters?
That and location. You're not in a theme park.
That's true.
You're not on the monorail loop. You've actually got to get out of your way to get there.
That's true. That's a good point.
Unless you're staying there, which...
Right.
But I have a hot take. I would skip the character element of that.
And do dinner?
No. And go over to Yacht Club for breakfast, to Yachtsman Steakhouse.
Mm-hmm. Again, that's not character dining,
Not
so
at
we're
all.
getting off topic. But
Right.
yes, that was a very good meal. We've talked about that in an episode recently, right?
We have. But, I mean, if you're right there,
Yes.
why would you not?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, anything else about Cape May?
They have snow crab legs with clarified butter for $29 per pound in addition to the cost of the buffet.
That's not worth it to me. I mean, I love some snow crab legs, but a pound of that is not very much.
No, because it's all
not
shell.
meat. It's all shell.
Yeah. Okay. Yep,
Oh.
we can move on.
All right. So next, we are going over to Crystal Palace, which is located on the turn between Main Street USA and Adventureland in Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
There you will have the chance to meet your 100-acre woods friends, including Pooh, Eeyore, Piglet, and Tigger. And they're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Characters are available at all 3 of those meals. It will charge you 1 table service credit per person. Breakfast is $35 to $60 per adult and child. Lunch is $60 plus, and dinner is $60 plus for anybody because it's a buffet. Also, keep in mind that, as with any restaurant located in a theme park, you also have to have your theme park admission.
Right.
They're not just going to let you in to eat at the restaurant.
Yep.
We have done Crystal Palace. What'd you think of it?
I enjoyed it. Again, the buffet part of it makes me nervous because I'm worried about missing the characters because that's why you go there.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one place where I didn't feel like the interaction with the characters was, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, at Garden Grill, when we had the interaction with the characters, it was fun, it was light, it was like you didn't have to get up if you didn't want to, but they would still interact with you. Where at Crystal Palace, I felt like if you didn't get up, it made it awkward for the character.
Mm-hmm.
So a place I don't know that I would need to go back to again.
Okay, that's fair. I wouldn't, just because it's a buffet. And
Right.
you know how I feel about buffets.
Yeah, I got to meet Pooh Bear. That's all that really mattered to me.
Right.
That's fine.
Right. Which is exactly why we did it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are moving on to Hollywood Studios now. We're going to Hollywood and Vine, which is located in the Echo Lake area of Hollywood Studios.
Mm-hmm.
They are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And for breakfast, it's a Disney Junior character situation. So like Fancy Nancy and Vampirina and some of those others. And then for dinner, or for lunch and dinner, it's Minnie and Friends.
Okay.
It will cost you 1 table service credit per person. Breakfast is $33 per kiddo, $49 per adult. Lunch and dinner bumps up to $42 per child and $63 for an adult.
Okay. So again, one of the more affordable
Right.
of the character dinings.
Right.
Interesting.
Yep. It's a buffet situation, and they offer American fare.
Right. I think that is one of those, especially for breakfast, I don't need to do.
No.
It would just feel awkward to me because I don't know the characters.
Right. And
The only thing I will tell you is they do have a Banana Foster's French toast on the menu.
okay.
And it is, I don't know, it feels like this might be a buffet as well.
It is.
Okay. And then for dinner, as I looked through that, they have a caramelized Brussels sprouts.
Ooh.
Or caramelized, depending on how you want to say it.
But, I mean, we've had caramelized Brussels sprouts before that we've been very disappointed in. So I don't know that I would hang my hat and spend that kind of money just for some Brussels sprouts.
No. That's one of the few menus I've seen at Disney that has Brussels sprouts on the menu.
There are some places that I will spend that for Brussels sprouts. And they're not at Disney World.
Right. Right. Yeah, for me, there's too many other fun themed restaurants in Hollywood Studios that I would put in front of that every time, even though it's character dining. 50s primetime feels like character dining because of how they go through it. I would even put sci-fi because of the kind of kitschiness of it over Hollywood and Vine. Then you have all the stuff in Galaxy's Edge. You have all the stuff in Toy Story Land. All of those kind of things. I think, to me, this one feels very much like a skip.
Hard pass.
But I'll tell you right now, there's a 10-minute estimated wait. So
Oh.
if you wanted to get in, we could get on the walk-up wait list. Granted, I don't know that 24 hours from now it will be the same.
Yeah. I'll pass, but thanks.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to bounce around a little bit, and we are headed to the Polynesian Village Resort, and we're going to Ohana. Meals there are breakfast and dinner. The characters are available only at breakfast, and currently it is Mickey, Pluto, Lilo, and Stitch.
Yes.
It's 1 table service credit per person. For breakfast, children are $33, adults are $53, and dinner is $42 per child and $65 per adult.
Yeah.
Location, I think this is fabulous. I love the theming. Dinner, I really enjoyed the food. Breakfast food was also delightful. It was pretty standard, though. It was the breakfast skillet that everywhere else serves when you go to a family service
Yeah,
place for
they
breakfast.
just have Hawaiian-style ham instead.
Right, and that delicious pineapple coconut bread.
Right.
It was fun to meet Lilo and Stitch, though,
Mm-hmm.
and Mickey looked real cute in his Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, his vacation get-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, again, because of location and because of the characters you get to meet, the food is good enough that I would say it's worth the price.
Once.
I would go back and do the character dining breakfast again.
Would you?
I probably would.
Okay.
Granted, like, we're potentially looking at a trip later this year where we're considering staying at the Poly. We'll talk more about that in an upcoming episode. But if I think about where I want to eat for breakfast, I almost want to do Kona Cafe over Ohana.
Mm-hmm.
Just because there's a better variety, it's menu service instead of just here we're going to throw skillets of food in front of you.
Right.
Kona Cafe, you get to feel like you get to take your time.
Mm-hmm.
Ohana, it feels like they're trying to just clear you for the next table.
Right.
So, yeah. Again, we've met Lilo, Stitch, Mickey and his vacation get up.
Pluto.
Maybe the right way to say that is if we were with somebody that really wanted to prioritize that, I would not argue.
Right.
Some
But
of
I
these
think for
places,
just
I would
us-
argue.
Yes.
I'd be like, no, you go do that by yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the next location that we are going to is actually located at the Four Seasons Orlando,
Okay.
and it is called Ravello. It's open for breakfast and dinner, and characters are available at breakfast only. The characters that you get to meet are Goofy and friends, and there are no dining plans accepted at this location, and prices vary, so they don't have a set. It's a la carte.
Yeah, it's a menu order.
Right, but there's also buffet. So it's buffet and a la carte. So,
Yes.
but I don't know. I mean, okay, so the Four Seasons is over by Golden Oak, which I understand that's very fancy. I don't know that not having a Disney operated character dining experience would be worth it to me at any price, even though it is Disney characters. I think part of the appeal of that is the cast members and what am I looking for? The safety in the food.
Mm-hmm.
You know what to expect from Disney food.
Yeah, I think at a place like Four Seasons, though, it's going to be good food. Like, you don't have to worry about... That's like a 4-star hotel.
Well, no, I understand that, but I mean, just like, you know pretty much what the menu is going to be.
Yeah.
There may be some changes here and there, but overall, it's going to be, you're going to be able to find something that you like, which
Yep.
I don't know that with Pick Your Palates, you could do that at the Four Seasons.
Right. So here's the other thing. I'm looking on the app. Character breakfast is available Thursday and Saturday only.
Oh, all right then.
So that's something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so it looks like their normal breakfast is order off the menu. I think Thursday and Saturday it's buffet.
So then get a lot of people through
Yep.
and get it done and get the characters and
Yep. They have a 3 pigs omelet, though, which is just bacon, ham, and pork sausage and cheddar cheese. I love that.
I kind of love that. Moving on, we are going over to Topolino's Terrace at the Riviera Resort. This is also open for breakfast and dinner only, and characters are there only for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
This is Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy, and they're in their artists' outfits, which look pretty darn adorable to me. This will cost you 1 table service credit per person for breakfast and 2 for dinner.
Okay.
And breakfast will cost $33 per child and $52 per adult. And then dinner is completely a la carte pricing.
Yes.
I would go there just to see the characters in their outfits.
I want to do both meals.
Okay.
Like the breakfast just to see those characters in their outfits. So we can go to the hotel and buy the stuffies of the characters in their outfits. Because we need more of those, obviously.
Obviously.
But then looking at the dinner menu,
yeah,
it looks delicious.
I've heard good things.
Like their starters include a braised lamb shoulder gnocchi.
Okay.
uni tomato bisque, pork belly fazzoletto, a ratatouille fritter. They have escargot on the menu.
Oh.
Entrees, it's French, so I'm not gonna try and pronounce some of it. But yeah, they have a bouillabaisse, sea scallops, a filet mignon. Yeah, that menu looks delicious for dinner.
Okay.
Like, I would rather have the dinner menu than the breakfast menu, but I want to go to breakfast to meet the characters.
Right. And I believe that for dinner, it does elevate into a signature experience, which is why it charges 2 table service credits and has a menu like that.
Right. Yeah. So at breakfast, they do have a bread pudding brulee.
Oh, you'd hate that.
Yeah, I'd hate every bite of that. Their waffle is a sour cream waffle.
Ooh.
Yeah. A wild mushroom scramble.
Okay.
For plant-based. It has plant-based eggs. 2 eggs any style. So it feels like a buffet, but maybe it's not. Yeah, that's a place we need to put on our list of things we want to do.
Okay.
For both meals, honestly.
Okay. We can do that. Alrighty. You ready to move on?
Yep.
All right. This is actually our final location for character dining.
Okay.
And this is Tusker House over in
yes.
the Africa section of Animal Kingdom Park. It is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You do get to meet Mickey and friends in a buffet settings with both African flavors and buffet standards.
Yes.
This will cost you 1 table service credit. For breakfast, it charges $33 per child, or an adult is $49. And for lunch and dinner, those prices go to $42 per child and $62 for an adult. We've been to Tusker House. We've had this experience. The characters are in their safari gear, and they are 100% adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a buffet.
We were there at lunchtime or dinner time?
Dinner time.
Dinner time.
Yep. Would you do it again?
Hot take, I would do it for breakfast.
Okay, tell me why.
I'm just looking at the menu. Mm-hmm. So I like our experience at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
At Sanaa?
At Sanaa with some of those African...
No, Boma.
Boma with some of those African flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Made me realize that some of those breakfast kind of African flavors I really like.
Mm-hmm.
The characters are super adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And I was underwhelmed by the dinner menu.
I was as well.
Like, it wasn't bad. I was just underwhelmed. Like, I expected more out of that buffet. But, like, looking at the breakfast... The breakfast pastries and breakfast classics, so zebra coffee cake, croissant, blueberry mini muffins, chocolate twist Danish. So nothing really out of the ordinary there, but the breakfast classics all seem very much the same too. Bacon, sausage patties, rotisserie ham, and andouille sausage pieces. So maybe, like, I don't see a lot of the African flavors, but I bet they're there. Like, they're just not listed out in the description.
Because they may change.
Right. But, yeah, I would try their breakfast because Disney, like, you know what to expect in Disney breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're getting. And for the $50 per person, getting to get your picture taken with Pluto and Mickey and Donald and Goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And their safari get-up is probably worth the price of admission.
Mm-hmm.
Super adorable.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when I would do breakfast again once just to see if breakfast was better than dinner. I would not go back for lunch or dinner. There's way better food in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
For those meals.
And probably not all that much more expensive.
Right. Yeah, cuz what did you say? Dinner is $65?
Yeah.
Ish.
You can go to Tiffin's for that.
Yeah. Like when we went to Tiffin's, I think our total bill was somewhere in the neighborhood of $130, $140.
Yeah.
For the two of us. And you're looking at $130
to have to get up and get your own food.
To have to get up and get your own food.
That sounds way privileged and
right.
But it's legit.
Right. It's a very real concern. If I'm going to be paying $70 a plate, $80 a plate, I want a waiter to bring me my food.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, again, very privileged sounding, but yeah, I'm right there with you. So yeah, I would probably try breakfast there. I would not go back to lunch or dinner.
Okay. Considering we are a podcast for Disney adults,
Yes.
generally, it's my impression that character dining is for all, not just for people with kids.
100%, I would agree. And like when you were telling me we were going to do this episode, the thing that I want to make sure we get out for our audience is don't be weirded out having interactions with the characters.
No. Let yourself be a kid.
Right. Don't be weird.
Right. Don't be creepy.
Don't be creepy. Don't be weird.
Don't try and be funny.
Right. Like just have some pre-planned questions.
Like ask them about their universe,
Right.
but don't try and cross universes with like asking a frozen princess if she was going on a date with Dopey.
Right.
Because that doesn't make any sense.
Right. This isn't character dining, but my best character interaction was with Scrooge McDuck.
Mm-hmm.
And all my interaction was I asked him, how do I get as much money as he has? And we had a good 3 or 4 minute interaction just based off of that one question. And I never once felt awkward.
Right.
Not once. I was just in the moment. Even we asked character dining when we were there with Lacey and Lariah. We made Stitch teach Lariah how to surf.
Right. Well, we asked.
Right. We're like, hey,
Yes.
can you teach her how to surf? And you're like, yes. I'm nodding my head vigorously because that's what Stitch did.
Mm-hmm.
And like we have pictures of Lariah in surf pose next to Stitch.
Right, because Stitch is her favorite absolute Disney character.
Right.
Yeah.
And so just don't be afraid to go and be yourself and talk to them. Like, what questions would you have for people living in that universe?
Mm-hmm.
But don't be afraid. Like the conversations with Mickey at Garden Grill. Hey, we're from the Midwest. Do you grow corn?
Mm-hmm.
What's my favorite thing at character dining to ask is, did you help make the food?
Right.
Because they're well trained in how to handle that kind of question. But if you ask them off the wall questions, they can't talk to you unless they're a face character, obviously.
Right,
But
and it just gets creepy really quickly. Yeah. It's awkward, and
it's strange for everybody. But if you just ask surface level, what's the best thing on the menu? Did you help cook? And some of the fun things when you have Chip and Dale, who's a better cook? Are you a better cook than Dale is? And just like they'll start interacting with each other in those moments too, which is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And just don't be afraid to have those quick interactions. Like I'll try and find a picture of it and post it on our Facebook and Instagram. But was it Chip or Dale?
It was Dale.
It was Dale had moved on to the next table, and the waitress was there taking drink orders or whatever, and he was just sort of sitting there waiting and noticed that I was taking a picture. So we posed.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have interactions with you. So let them have interactions with you and don't be weirded out. But I've also been at character dining where I wasn't in the mood, where you just kind of have that, hey, thanks for stopping by, and they wave and just keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
But you're paying a lot of money to not interact.
Right.
So yeah, definitely for all people.
Yep. And I think it's not something that people need to do on every single trip.
Right.
But I think if there are specific characters that you want to meet, I think it's worth both the time and the money investment to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just for those experiences, because you may not get to meet some of those characters outside of those.
Yep. And the other thing I will say is you listen to Candace and I today, we are proof positive that look for what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Not every character dining experience is going to be for every person.
Right.
It's not intended
to do
to
them.
Be.
No.
Right. That's one of the things, eventually we're going to do another one of those what drives me nuts about Disney people episodes. But one of the things that is one of my biggest pet peeves is when people think that every experience has to be an experience that was designed for them.
Right.
No. It's designed for somebody. If you don't enjoy it, just move on. Don't do it.
Right. Don't yuck somebody else's yum.
Right. Just like we would never tell somebody not to go to 1900 Park Faire.
100%. It's just not for us.
Right. We would never tell somebody not to do Akershus.
Again, not for us.
Right. It just probably isn't our thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would never tell somebody that absolutely loves Tusker House dinner to not go to Tusker House dinner. I'm going to let them maybe talk me into trying it again because maybe I had a bad experience and I just need to go back. Listen, understand what people are coming from. Why is it their experience? That's the beauty about Disney. Listen to people, have that conversation, find out what they love about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a new perspective.
Preach.
Now, who can argue with that? Reverend!
All right. Anything else we need to talk about on the character dining perspective?
No, I don't think so. I think we're good.
Okay. Well, as we've always said, check us out on our socials. We are pretty active on Facebook, Instagram, not so much on Reddit or Blue Sky, but we're out there.
Yep.
Come have a chat with us. Let us know what character dining experiences you have had, whether you enjoyed them or not, and if you would recommend them. And we will be back with you very soon with another episode.
Yep, that sounds good. And remember, everyone, there is always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
And we'll see you real soon.